What's going on, everybody? It's me, Ben Cornett. I am doing a Bucs post-game reaction, and yeah, not the kind of reaction we wanted tonight. The Bucs end up losing this game 41-31 to the Baltimore Ravens. It was an ugly night. Now it got compounded even worse with the not only the injury to Mike Evans, who uh, got hurt in the end zone. Looked like he re-aggravated his hamstring. But toward the last minute of the game, Chris Godwin ended up getting hurt very severely as well. Um, in fact, they wouldn't even show the replay of it, so it was pretty bad. They had to put a air cast on his leg, and this it's one thing to lose a game, but to not only lose Mike Evans, but to lose Chris Godwin, especially when it's, garbage time, you're down 10, not a lot of time left, you know, uh, the score wasn't even as close as the game wasn't even as close as the score, I should say. And there'll be a lot of questions, people are already online saying, why did we have Godwin in there in the last few minutes? I mean, you can't predict injuries. It's hard. I'm not condoning it that he stayed out there. I'm just saying that it's easy to say that, in the heat of the moment, because what if he doesn't get hurt? What if he's fine? Nothing happens. You know, it it's a tough situation, but again, it just makes a crappy night worse. You know, forget about the game and everything. Now you got two injuries to not only your probably your two best offensive players, but one of the best wide receiver duos in the league, and it's it's going to be tough for the Bucks, offensively going forward because you could pretty much tell Godwin's probably going to be out for the year. Evans is probably going to be out for a couple games, but these games are important because now you play the Atlanta Falcons next week in the creamsicle game, the rematch from the Thursday night game. Then you got the Kansas City Chiefs 2 weeks from the night on Monday Night Football. So it's a tough schedule ahead for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, and not having your two best receivers, offensive players, really, um, just makes it that much more difficult for this team to try and win these games. I guess the encouraging part about all this is that we ran the ball pretty decently tonight. And Rashad White did pretty good. Came back to his, back into it. Ran the ball pretty good. Caught it well. Bucky Irving did his thing. Sean Tucker had a couple nice runs. So that's encouraging. But at the same time, now you got to rely on guys like McMillan, Trey Palmer, uh, Sterling Shepard. This is going to be a very difficult road ahead for this team offensively. Defensively, was not good. We just put Jamel Dean on IR. McCollum, outside of that one, fumble, or the interception rather, he got burned all night, by Bateman, who's a good receiver, by the way. No shame in that, but our secondary, especially our corners, are just not good. Just not great man-to-man defensive guys, and the linebackers were exposed tonight. KJ Britt played awful. Levante always plays well. You don't have to worry about him, but we poor tackling. Just, you know, in Baker Mayfield, the 2 interceptions were brutal. Let's just be honest there. After Evans went out, the game changed because 2 plays later, Baker threw an interception. And on that interception, he had a wide open Bucky Irving. Could have had a touchdown there. So all that just completely turned it around for the, Bucks. Ravens took advantage of it, as great teams do. Um, we just couldn't get to Lamar Jackson tonight. We contained Derrick Henry early, but he got it going in the second half. And, the turnovers killed us. Bottom line, Ravens took advantage of it. That's what great teams do. And, at first it was a great start. Got that opening touchdown to Mike Evans, his 100th touchdown of his career, by the way. Just adds on to his Hall of Fame career. And, just a shame that he got hurt when he did. Made it worse by, he had the touchdown, fortunately couldn't bring it in. But the bigger story is the hamstring injury being re-aggravated. I guess they said in the broadcast that also when he tried to, he couldn't even put his shoe back on. That's how bad it was. So that makes your heart sink right there. It's like, wow, and then obviously the Godwin injury with the minute to go in the game. I mean, again, did we have to have him out there? No. But at the same time, you're in the heat of the battle, you're playing, you don't know. You can't predict injuries. So it's tough. It's a very difficult situation. It just, not only did we lose the game, but losing 2 offensive players, it just makes it so much worse. Now you're on a short week. Baker Mayfield's going to have to use guys like McMillan and Trey Palmer, Sterling Shepard. It's just, luckily he's played with Sterling Shepard, Oklahoma days, but he's going to have to get used. He's going to have to rely on McMillan. He's going to have to rely on Trey Palmer, and the run game's going to have to be used, extra. So yeah, this is devastating. I'm not going to lie to you. It's very disappointing. I did pick the Bucs to win. I thought, we can compete. We can definitely compete with these guys. This is a measuring stick kind of game. It didn't turn out that way. And then add on to the fact that you got 2 injuries to your best players, 1 out for the year, and 1, who knows how long he'll be out. Hamstring injuries are tricky. It could be a couple weeks, could be a month. Just the fact that Evans will miss 1 game could really hurt with his offense, especially without Godwin. So now it's gonna be very interesting to see how this team offensively looks. Because Atlanta, high-powered offense. I know they got shellacked by the Seahawks this past Sunday, but Atlanta still has a very good offense. Kansas City, I mean, my goodness, they're Kansas City. They haven't played their best, but they're still undefeated. So what does that tell you right there? And that's a road game. And I believe after that, the San Francisco 49ers come to town. They're banged up. But again, who knows? Who knows which team you're going to get? So these 3 games are just coming up are huge, and this is where you need to be at your healthiest if you're going to win these games. So I pretty much said my piece on it. Let me I got some comments in the section. Let me read them real quick. Odette, love from Odette Brenson's in Tampa. Thanks, Odette, for tuning in tonight. Appreciate that. I know it's disappointing, not the outcome we wanted. Oh, well, take Holloway. Thanks for tuning in. Mike shouldn't have played to begin with. The defense was trash all night, and now Godwin. Yeah, I mean that's going to be another, you know, debate. Should Evans have even played? I know he was on the report all week, questionable, doubtful, and then got the clean bill of health that he could play. But hey, Evans is Evans. He's one of the toughest guys in the league. He's only missed 9 games his entire career, so it's hard to keep somebody like that out. It is what it is. That's all I'll say about that. Baker should have thrown 4 or 5 picks. Yeah, man, not a good night. 2 interceptions. Um, you know, that's one of the downfalls for Baker Mayfield is his interceptions. He will throw some picks at times. Sometimes you got to live with that. And tonight was one of those nights where you didn't want that to happen. Of course, you don't want it to happen anytime, but especially tonight in a big prime time game against a very good team, you can't give a team like the Ravens that many chances. You can't make mistakes against a team like that. They're just too good on both sides of the football. Nathan, thanks for tuning in, man. Appreciate it. Nathan Snell, Ravens fan. It's a good victory for you guys. Congratulations. Do you see how this game cheats? I'm not sure what that means. Clarify that for me. I appreciate it. Nate says, what was Todd's facial expressions all about? Well, it's frustration. Todd got out coached tonight. John Harbaugh does that to a lot of people. So, 23-point lead, won by 10. Yeah. Yeah. The Ravens, I mean, listen, they made some mistakes too. They were a lot of penalties in this game. It was very ugly. Both teams were penalized quite a bit. You guys defensively had some breakdowns tonight for the Ravens late in the game, but again, both teams need to be more disciplined. Yeah, so make it make sense. Yeah. I don't know. I mean, this oh, sucks. I'm not mad at that we lost to the Ravens. That the Ravens are a great team. No doubt about it. Take nothing away from them. Better team won. They outplayed us on both sides of the ball. Executed on offense. Ravens took advantage of the turnovers like great teams do. Um, Offensive line was good for the Ravens, protected Lamar all night. Mark Andrews played well, got a great catch on his tippy toes, great play. They, Ravens, except for some of the penalties, Ravens played well tonight. So give them credit. Zay Flowers got hurt, unfortunately, as well. That's another injury. Hopefully he's not out very long for the Ravens. He's their best receiver. But Lively played good, got a touchdown. This team's good. Ravens, I would say top 3 or 4 in the NFL. I'd even put them over the Kansas City Chiefs right now. The Chiefs haven't played their best football. Yeah, and that's pretty scary considering they're undefeated right now. The Ravens, probably a game they should have won opening night. So, I'm sure it'll come down to those 2 teams again in the AFC. Usually does. It's for the Bucs. A lot to work on, but now with the injuries, now you got to adjust. Leon Cohen's going to have to game plan differently without his 2 best wide receivers. It's going to be a long week for this team. Long week on a short week. And I thought for the most part, our offensive line played solid. Uh, we gave up a couple sacks, but you know, and except early on when we Diaby got a sack on Lamar, we didn't really get to him that much the rest of the night. So good job on the Ravens, protecting them better. But yeah, this was disappointing to say the least. But what makes it more disappointing is you lose your best players, and for me, that's going to be hard to sleep tonight. You know, you hate to see injuries to anybody, and this sucks. And Marty McKnight, thanks for tuning in, says I felt like I was watching a funeral at the end of the game. I don't blame you. That's a fair point. I mean, this could be what brings us down the rest of the year. Like I said, you got the Falcons coming up at home. Great offense. Chiefs 2 weeks from now, 2 weeks from the night on Monday night. And then I believe it's the 49ers after that, if I'm not mistaken. Could be wrong, but if that's them, then I know they're not playing well right now. They have a lot of injuries. Ayuk might be out for the year. So who knows? Maybe that evens it out for us. But they still got great tight ends and George Kittle and Kyle Juszczyk. Still got Debo. So who knows? But I would suspect Mike Evans is probably going to miss at least a couple games. At least two. Yeah, so that's pretty much all I have right now, man. I just disappointed, not so much with the loss. I mean, yeah, it's disappointing to lose, but to lose players makes it worse. And you just hope that Godwin's going to be okay. I mean, as far as his career goes, I don't think it's career ending, but he's probably not going to play the rest of the year. So again, you hope Evans gets back as soon as possible. Same time, you don't want to rush it. You just hope no more injuries happen. And that's the one thing sometimes teams just can't overcome. Even good teams, they can't overcome injuries. So we just got to wait and see what's going on this week, and just go from there. It's too early to speculate. Again, could be a season-ending injury for Godwin. Looks like it, but who knows? So, yeah, like I said, next couple games: Atlanta at home Sunday, 1 p.m. Eastern, and then Kansas City on the road Monday night. 2 weeks from the night, or less. Right now, after midnight, it's less than 2 weeks from the night. So I'm here on the West Coast, so it's still 2 weeks from the night. But anyway, you know what I mean. So, I mean, some good news is my Dodgers are in the World Series, by the way. We got the Yankees starting Friday night. I put up a poll in the Ben Zone. Who you think's going to win the World Series, the Yankees or Dodgers? I'm rooting for my Dodgers. I think we could pull it out. So I'll go Dodgers in 7 games. I think it's going to be a great series. Both teams are very good. Probably the two best teams in baseball. Been that way all year. So, yeah, I cannot wait. Hopefully that'll put a little bit of a smile on my face, make me kind of think less about what's going on, and as well as my Florida State Seminoles just sucking ass all year. They just suck. I'm sorry, I'm just gonna call it like it is. Florida State football team absolutely sucks ass. We're terrible. We're playing like 500 quarterbacks. Our wide receivers drop balls. They can't even catch a cold. They have to be the healthiest people on the planet because they can't even catch a cold. Our offensive line's terrible. Defense is okay. But anyway, I'm not going to keep going. I'll also say this Saturday, the Miami Hurricanes are probably going to beat us by 30. Cam Ward's going to just add on to his Heisman Trophy resume. So, all right. With that being said, Marty's give one more comment. He says, "I'm actually pulling for your Dodgers. F the Yankees." Thank you, Marty. Appreciate that. Let's see what happens. So that's it for now. That's my post game reaction. I'm depressed right now, disappointed. Not so much in the loss, but the loss to Evans and Godwin. Very depressing. And man, I just hope both these guys can come back 100% as soon as possible and go from there. So just hope we don't have any more injuries. All right, everybody. Take care. Have a great night. Thanks for watching tonight. Appreciate you stopping by for a few minutes. Thank you for the comments. Appreciate that. And I'll be back next week for another Bucs post-game react. Hopefully it's a positive one. Hopefully it's a victory Monday. We'll see. And that's it. So everybody have a good night, and I'll see you next time. Take care.